सहगना रघुनाथान्वितना।
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandat Pranams to all. We welcome all of you for the today's morning program, Nitya and Bhagavata Sevaya. And today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Murali Prabhu, and he will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 31 and verse 15. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to read the purport of Srila Prabhupada and purify myself. And I will start it now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranjaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mutiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishchiki. So, this is a reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 31 and verse number 15. The subject matter on Narada's instruction to Prasedas. So, to start with, I want to brush up the previous stories so that we can get the continuity of what we will have to discuss today. Narada Muni is instructing the Prasedas and is telling, when a living entity is born to engage in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Controller, his birth, all his productive activities, his lifespan, his mind, his words, all are factually perfect when he is doing that. A civilized human being has three kinds of birth. One is by the father and mother and seminal birth, and the next birth is take place when he was initiated by a spiritual master, and this is called Savitra birth. Then the third birth is called Yajnika, take place when one gives the opportunity to worship the Lord Vishnu. Respect of opportunities for attaining such birth, even if one gets the lifespan of a demigod, even if he is a demigod, if one does not actually engage in the service of the Lord, everything becomes useless. That's what Narada Muni instructed. Similarly, one's activity may be mundane or spiritual, but they are useless if they are not meant for satisfying the Lord. Without devotional service, what is the meaning of severe austerities? The process of hearing, the power of speech, the power of mental speculation, elevated intelligence, strength, and the power of the senses of no use without the devotional service. Transcendental practice that do not ultimately help one to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead are useless. Be mystic yoga practice or analytical study of matter or severe austerity or acceptance of sannyasa or study of Vedic literature, all these may be important aspects of spiritual advancement. But unless one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, all these processes are useless. Actually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original source of all self-realization. Consequently, the goal of all auspicious activities, karma, jnana, yoga, and bhakti, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As the pouring water of the roof of a tree energizes the trunk, branches, twigs, and everything else, and supplying the food to the stomach enlivens the sense and the limbs of the body. Simply worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead through devotional service automatically satisfy the demigods, who are the part and parcel of Supreme Lord. This was the instruction so far by Narada Muni to the Prasedas, and today's verse, it is 4:31:15. Yataiva suryat prabhavanti vara punascha tasmin pravishanti kale bhutani bhumau sirajagmana jangamani tata harireva gunapravaha. Yataiva suryat prabhavanti yara punascha tasmin pravishanti kale bhutani bhumau Sirajangamani Tata Harevyeva Guna Pravaha. Word by word meaning. Yata, as, eva, certainly, Suryat, from the sun. Pravavanti is generated. Yara, water. Puna, again. Sha, and. Tasmin, unto it. Pravishyanti, enters. Kali, in due course of time. Bhutani, all living entities. Bhaumau, to the earth. Sthira, not moving. Jangamani, unmoving. Tata, similarly, Parav, turn to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Eva, certainly. Guna Pravaha, emanation of material nature. Translation purport by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. During the rainy season, water is generated from the sun. And due course of time, during the summer season, the very same water is again absorbed by the sun. Similarly, all the living entities, moving and inert, are generated from the earth, and again after some time, they are all returned to the earth as dust. Similarly, everything emanating from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in due course of time, everything enters into him again. Purport. Because of their poor fund of knowledge, impersonalist philosophers cannot understand how everything comes out from the Supreme Person and then merges into him again. As Brahma Samhita confirms, Yashya Prabha Prabhavato Jagatanda Koti Asesha Vasudadi Vibhuti Bhinnam Tad Brahmanishkalam Manantam Asesha Bhutam Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Wonderful. Transcendental rays emanating from the body of Krishna within those rays, which are the Brahman effulgence, everything existing. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.4. Mastani sarva bhutani. Although Krishna is not personally present everywhere, his energy is the cause of all creation. The entire cosmic manifestation is nothing but the display of Krishna's energy. The two examples given in this verse are very vivid. During the rainy season, the rain, by regenerating the production of vegetables on earth, enables men and animals to obtain living energy. When there is no rain, food is scarce, and men and animals simply die. All vegetables as well as moving living entities are originally product of earth. They come from the earth, and again they are merged into the earth. Similarly, the total material energy is generated from the body of Krishna, and at such time, the entire cosmic manifestation is visible. When Krishna winds up his energy, everything vanishes. This explained in the different way in Brahma Samhita again. Yasvaikanishpagidakalam matavalam cha jivanti loma vilaja jagatantanata Vishnu mahaneha vasatsya kala visesho Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. This entire material creation comes from the body of Supreme Personality Godhead, and at the time of annihilation, again enters into him. This process of creation and dissolution is made possible by the breathing of Mahavishnu, who is the only plenary portion of Krishna. Om Tatsat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamagyam Dati Svapadantigam Vandeham Sri Gurum Siyudapatakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sakradadam Sagana Ragunadanvitam Samtajivam Sadvaidam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishaka Visam Cha Sri Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachata Desadarine Uma Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Badayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratuje Namaha Nama Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hidaya Cha Daitaityaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat. Thank you again for giving me an opportunity to speak about little on the purport of Bhakti Vedanta purports by Jai Srila Prabhupada. And some small indication by sometime if my computer suddenly goes off, we have some patience. 1 or 2 minutes it will revive again. There is something with that. That's just I want to indicate. So in this particular verse, it is indicated about the dissolution and the recreation of the entire universe. Narada Muni explained that to Prasedas. And for an instant, if we talk about Brahma's lifetime, 1000 cycles of 4 ages constitutes 1 day of Brahma. That's all we know. And each day of Brahma, called Kalpa, contains within the lifetime of 14 Manus are born in that time. The duration of Brahma's night is the same as the day. During the night, Brahma sleeps and the 3 planetary systems meet destruction. So there are 4 types of destructions happening in the pralayas. Naimitika, occasional annihilation. When a Brahma life span is 100 years is finished, there occurs Prakritika Pralaya. Naimitika Pralaya, Prakritika Pralaya. And the total material annihilation. At that time, 7 elements of the material nature, beginning with the Mahat Tattva, and the entire universe egg composed of them are destroyed totally. Even the shell of the universe is and it is destroyed. When a person achieves knowledge of the absolute, he understands the factual reality. He perceives the entire created universe as separate from the absolute and therefore unreal. This is called Adyantika Pralaya. That is the final annihilation from the liberation. That's by liberation. At every moment of time, invisibly transform the bodies of all created beings and all other manifested matter. This process of transformation causing the living entity to undergo the constant annihilation of birth and death. Those possessed of the subtle vision of state, that is all creatures, including Brahma himself, are always subject to generation and annihilation. Material life means subjugation of birth and death, or generation of and annihilation. The only boat suitable for crossing over the ocean of material existence, which is otherwise impossible to cross, is the boat of submissive hearing, the nectarian pastime of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the only thing which is available. Lord himself states in Bhagavad Gita, by me, by my unmanifested form, the entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Simultaneously, one and different. Maya tatam midam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtyanaha mastani sarvabhutani nachaham tesham bhavastita. That Supreme Personality of Godhead, it cannot be perceived through the gross material senses. It is said, Ata Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Grahyam Indriyaha Sevan Muhehi Jivvado Swayan Eva Spruti Yatha. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Recently, most of us we might have studied for the Bhakti Sastri course. Lord Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Only one who engaged in the pure devotion service under the proper guidance, he revealed in Brahma Samhita. It is stated, Pramamanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Sandat Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Machintya Gunaswarupam Govindam Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. One can see Supreme Personality of God, Govinda, always within himself and outside himself, if one has developed the transcendental loving attitude towards him. Thus, for the people in general, he is not visible. Here it is said that although he is all-pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by material senses. This is indicated here by the Avyakta Murtinaha. But actually, although we cannot see him, everything is resting in him. The entire material cosmic manifestation is the only combination of his two different energies, the superior energy and the spiritual energy. And that superior energy is spiritual energy, and the inferior energy is a material energy. Just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of the Lord is also spread all over the creation. And everything is resting in that energy. Yet, one should conclude that because he spread all over, he is lost his personal existence. No, he refutes such an argument. Lord says, I am everywhere and everything is in me, but still I am aloof. For example, it was stated by Srila Prabhupada, a king heads a government, which is but the manifestation of king's energy. The different government departments are nothing but the energies of the king. And each department is resting on the king's power. But still, one cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. Similarly, all the manifestations are resting on the energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies. And as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Vishtabhyam Midam Krishtam, he is everywhere present in his personal representation, the diffusion of his different energies. How to understand the creation annihilation? There is something in Bhagavatam we can see about the creation. Narada Muni's first thought, what he was thinking, Narada Muni is a son of Brahma. What he is thinking, his father is ultimate, Brahma is ultimate. He was thinking Brahma was the source of everything. When the Lord Brahma declared that Supreme Lord is the cause of everything, Narada Muni became bewildered and asking so many questions. One such question in second canto, Narada Muni is asking Brahma, Yat Rupam, Yat Adhishtanam, Yat Sreshtam, Idam Prabhu, Yat Samashtam, Yat Param, Tat Tattvatam Veda Tattvaha, Yacha. So, Yat Rupam, what is the characters, symptom of manifested world? Yat Adhishtanam, background, what is the shelter? Yat Sreshtam, how it is created. And Yat Samastam, how it is conserved. And Yat Param, what it depends on. Yat Sa, what it composed of. So, it is a question asked by Narada Muni to Brahma. We will see a few of these to understand the creation of the entire universe. And furthermore, it is there. But Yat Rupam, what is the characteristics, symptoms of the manifested world? For that, Brahma answers, Dravyam Karmacha Kala Cha Sabhavo Jiva Eva Cha Vasudevat Paro Brahman Nachanyo Artho Sti Tattvataha Ati Tattvataha. Dravyam, the ingredients, earth, water, fire, ether, earth, and karma, the interaction, and kala, eternal time, swabhava, institution of nature, jiva, the living being, and everything is depending on Vasudeva. What he says, the 5 elementary ingredients of creation, the interaction thereof set up by the eternal time, the intuition of nature by the individual living being are all differentiated part and parcel of the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. And in truth, there is no other value in them except the connection of the Vasudeva. Means Dravya, Kala, Karma, Swabhava, Jiva, all these 5 components not different from the Vasudeva. That is the answer for Yat Rupam. Then he is asking Yat Adhishtanam. What is the background? For that, Brahma answering Narayana Paro Veda Devo Narayana Angaja Narayana Paraloka Narayana Paramaka. Further is there Narayana Paro Yogo Narayana Param Japaha Narayana Param Vyanam Narayana Paragadihi. The Vedic literatures are made by and meant for Supreme Lord, Narayana Paraveda. The demigods are also meant for serving the Lord as a part and body. Deva Narayana Angaja. Angaja is a part, assisting the hands. The different planets are meant for the sake of the Lord, Narayana Paraloka. And different sacrifices are performed just to please him. Narayana para maka. So further, Narayana para yoga, all the different type of meditation or mysticism are meant for realization of Narayana. Narayana para tabaha, all the austerities are aimed at achieving Narayana. Narayana para jnanam, culture of transcendental knowledge is for getting glimpses of Narayana. Narayana Paragadi. The ultimate salvation destination is entering the kingdom of the Narayana. Means Jnana, Tapa, Yoga, austerities Maka, Loka, Devata, Veda, Gati, all under the shelter of Narayana. That is what you should understand. So, further, Narada Muni's question, Lord Brahma answers is very openly accepting. I am doing only the recreation. The main creation done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am the recreator. And I am getting the inspiration to do that only from the Lord. Lord is the only one who controls all the three gunas throughout through his Maya Sakti. And the three modes of material nature control the jivas by binding them. People cannot perceive the Lord just like that. And he is also doing the Karana Srishti. By what Karana Srishti? The sound. For sound, he is producing ether. For touch, air. For form, fire. For taste, water. For smell, earth. Lord, as a Swamsa Mahavishnu, glances and impregnate jivas into the material nature, pradhana. These modes are inactive and unmixed state by kala, karma, and svabhava. In an active stage, the same thing, it is called as Mahattattva. Pradhana is called Mahattattva in the active stage, mixes with three modes and Ahankara to form Jnana Sakti, Kriya Sakti, and Dravya Sakti. What is this Jnana Sakti? Jnana Sakti, through Adidaiva, gives mind and 10 sense devadas. And Kriya Sakti, through Adi Atma, gives prana, 10 senses, and intelligence. Dravya Sakti, through Adi Bhuta, 10 tanmatras, that is the sense objects, and 5 elements. So, totally 23 elements. Mahattattva, Ahankara, 5 tanmatras, 5 gross elements, 11 senses is in an unmixed state. All this assembly happens by the Lord's Maya Sakti. And after that, 100 years of inactivity of Garbhodaya Sai Vishnu enters the universe and enlivens it. If you want to clearly understand this, the Supreme Lord glances on the sum total of material energy, Maya, infuses it with the time, Kala, destiny, Karma, and nature, Swabhava, of all the jivas, and thereby agitating it. The agitated equilibrium state, Pradhana, then produces the Magattattva. The state which, although has all three modes predominantly of goodness and passion due to Jnana and Kriya Saktis. The state further transforms into Ahankara, which is predominantly tamas or ignorance. The state produces three energies called Jnana Sakti, derived from the Sattva-guna and Sattva-guna, or Kriya Sakti, derived from Rajoguna, and Dravya Sakti, derived from Tamoguna. The Dravya Sakti has the capacity to produce gross elements. Kriya Sakti produces senses. Jnana Sakti produces the sense devadas. At each level of transformation, Lord's energy in the form of time produces the subsequent state of transformation. When the ingredients were ready, but in an unmixed state, the Lord entered them in order to make bodies. By the Lord's compacting energy, they took on primary and secondary forms, thus creating the body of the universe as well as the individual bodies. First, you should understand the shell, it is getting created. That also called all the pradhanas, which 10 different type of pradhanas, all that it is there in the shell. After that, Garbhodaya Sai Vishnu go and sleep there and resting there. And then from his navel sprouting out the Brahma's lotus, and Brahma could see him also. Then Brahma will have to create inside that all the living entities. That then after 1,000 years, because that will have to grow, the soul mass, Hiranya Garbha, the Supreme Lord, brought to live in the non-living universe. The first is the non-living universe. All the entities were brought by him, and then it is getting spread. Then the body for the entities were given. This is the thing. He, to do the giving the body, he expand into Virat Rupa. That is, we call it a Virat Rupa. From his limbs only, Brahma is taking all the ingredients for making the bodies of the other living entities. So, the limbs of Virat Rupa is explained as Brahmanas are considered head and mouth, Virat in the Virat Rupa. Kshatriyas are arms, Vaishyas are thighs, and Sudras are the legs. And even the 7 planetary systems, 14 planetary systems were indicated. Satyaloka is the head of Virat Rupa, Tapaloka is the breast, Jnanaloka is the neck, Maharaloka is the chest, Burloka is the navel to heart, Burloka is navel, Burloka is navel, Athalaloka is wrist, Vithalaloka is thigh, Suthalaloka is knees, Tathalaloka is shank, calves, and Mahathalal planet is ankles, Rasathala planet is upper portion of the feet, and Pathalaloka is the soles of Supreme Lord. Upper chest, head is Swargaloka. So, that is the Virat Rupa. So, from their limbs only, Brahma is producing all the living entities. The question asked by Narada Muni, Yatsa, what it composed of? It is giving Lord material cause, limbs of Garbhodaya Sai Vishnu provides the ingredient for the universe. Lord subtle sense of Tanmatra and plus elements. Lord gross senses and sense organ and sense devadas are there. Each and every sense, there is a devada is controlled by them. Ear by Dig Devadas, eyes by Surya, skin by Vayu, nose by Aswini Kumaras, tongue by Varuna, hands Indra, feet Upendra, voice Agni, Anas is by Mitra, genitals by Prajapati. So the universe is made of Lord's body, still is transcendental. We don't have any connection. Lord is also the effective cause of the super soul. Brahma says, confirms it, that he collected all the ingredients for the sacrifice from the Lord's limbs. That's why Prajapatis, Manu, sages, all worshipping the Lord because of all that. So further the question by Narada Muni, Yat Adhishtanam, what is the shelter? All the universes are situated in Lord's powerful material energy. That's all. That is a shelter. And Yat Param, what it depends on, for which Brahma says the only Lord's empowerment, that what they are depending on. And with that only Brahma creates, Shiva destroys, and Lord himself is maintains. So that is the dependency. Yat Param. Yat Samastam, the last question, how it is conserved. Conservation and dissolution. Mahavishnu is don't have any birth, the soul of all being. He creates, maintains, and destroys himself. Himself in himself. Because it is coming out of him, it is going back to him. Himself to himself. So the entire zonal control, Karanodaya Sai Vishnu, he is the master of eternal. He is the cause of everything. He is a master of eternal time, space, cause, effect, mind, elements, ego, mode, senses, universal form, everything. It emanates from him and it's going back to him, including Garbhodaya Sai Vishnu, the sum total of all living beings. But no material things are the Lord's Swarupa, that we should understand. Lord is not touched by any material things, even though everything is created from him. So Lord further explains these to Brahma in Chatusloki Bhagavatam. If you see that, he is explaining very nicely on 4 slokas. Aham eva sam eva gre, nanyat at sat asat param, pachat aham yat etakcha, ya avishyate te asmi aham. Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself, nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I am, the personality of Godhead. And after annihilation, what remains will also I, the personality of Godhead. Is very so. This is the first sloka of the Chatusloki Bhagavata is explained to Brahma. What is this creation? It's everything is me. Everything is emanating from me. In the last, everything is enter into me. Nothing else left. I am the only one available before the creation, and I am available after the annihilation. That's what Lord says in the Chatusloki Bhagavata. No, one more sloka. Savashya Vachakatya Bhagavan Brahma Rupadrik Nama Rupa Kriyadate Sankrama Karmaka Para. The personality of Godhead manifests himself in a transcendental form, being subject to the transcendental name, quality, pastimes, entourage, and the transcendental variegatedness. Although he is unaffected by all such activity, he appears to be so engaged. Whenever there is a need of material creation, the transcendental personality of Godhead accepts form of material world for creation, maintenance, and destruction. One should be intelligent enough to know his activities in truth and not be based on concluded that he is a resident to the material world by accepting a form created by material nature. No material nature. It is own personal form is coming. Any form accepted from the material nature has its affection. It will affect for everything done in the material world. So it is not a material form. A conditioned soul who accepts the material form for undergoing a certain terms of material activities is subject to law of matter, because it's a growth, annihilation, everything will be there. It will take birth, it will grow, then it will dwindle, it will vanish. But here, the verse, it is clearly stated that although the form and activities of the Lord appear to be same as those of conditioned soul, there are supernatural and impossible for conditioned soul to understand. He is the Supreme Personality Godhead, always unaffected by any material things. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord explained, Namam karma lilimpanti, name karma phale spraha, iti mam yo abhijanati, karma virna cha badhyate. The Lord is never affected by the activities which is apparently performed by his different incarnation and personality, nor that he have any desire to achieve success by fruitive activities. The Lord is full by his different potencies of wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. And thus, he has no reason for physical exhaustion like conditioned soul. Therefore, an intelligent person who can distinguish between the transcendental activities of the Lord and the activities of the contingent souls is also not bound by the reactions of activities. That's why Lord explained in Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. The Lord is the original source of all emanation, and everything that is created, maintained, and annihilated exists by the energy of the Lord. And the sane man who knows this is actually learned, and therefore he become pure. To become pure, that's you will have to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything is lies on him. Brahmaji also accept the same truth. He was instructing to Narada what he's telling. So I am te bihitastata Bhagavan Visva Bhavanaha in Bhagavatam is mentioning in the second canto. There is no other cause of all causes than Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. One should therefore follow the path of Brahma Sampradaya, the path from Brahmaji to Narada to Vyasadeva, and make a point to life to realize Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, or Lord Krishna. This very confidential instruction to the pure devotees of the Lord was also given to Arjuna and Brahma in the beginning of the creation. The demigods like Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Indra, Chandra, Varuna are undoubtedly different form of the Lord for execution of the different function in this material world. The different elements, ingredients of material creation, as well as the multifarious energies, also may be the same personality of Godhead. That's what it was indicated so far. But the root of all of them is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. One should attach to the root of the everything rather than bewildered by the branches and the leaf. So root is most important than all that. That is the instruction given in this verse to the devotees of the Lord who are engaged in the transcendental loving service to the Lord. So what it is given here in the total verse, if you were today's verse, what you see, Prasadas were instructed by Narada Muni, and in this particular verse, he is talking about how the sun gives the rain and he take away all the water, right? The same way, Supreme Personality of Godhead created this entire universe from his own energy, from his own body. He is creating everything, and after the annihilation, everything is going back to him. This is a cycle is going on. It's in a different kalpas, different way. And four type of annihilitations are taking place. But ultimately, everything is by the Lord, for the Lord, and to the Lord. That's what we should understand. So Lord himself is insisting in so many places in Bhagavad Gita and in Srimad Bhagavatam. He is coming and telling the superiority of the Supreme Lord. Especially this particular verse, what we saw, a few items like Yat Param, Yat Adhishtanam, Yat Cha, Yat, like that. Narada Muni is asking Lord Brahma. Narada Muni earlier thinking that Brahma is the entire creator. So he was very much convinced on that. But subsequently, when he was asking Brahma, Brahma is telling, I am not the creator. The primary creator of all the things is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. From him comes each and everything, from Lord Krishna, Balram to all the four, this thing, from Sankarshana to all these, what is that, Purushavatar, like Karanodaya Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaya Sai Vishnu, Shirodaya Sai Vishnu, all they are forming. Then further, all these Leela avatars, right? Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and so many Satyavesh Avatara, Manvantara Avatara. Everything is created from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And for taking care of this entire universe, not this one universe, there are so many universes, and how the creation of the universe, how the creation of the living entities also he is explaining. It's like a shell. First, all the pradhanas, it is making into a shell. Then Mahatattva, then Garbhodaya Sai Vishnu going and entering into that, and so many jivas are after 1,000 years is getting manifested. Then from the body of the Karnodaya Sai Vishnu, then he is taking a Virat Rupa, so that each and every limb of his this thing, Brahma is taking and creating the further secondary creation is done by Lord Brahma. That what is stated, and that what is understood by Narada Muni. The same way, further it is explained how, what is the cause of everything, and what we will have to follow. Okay, it was stated we will have to follow the Brahma Sampradaya. We are also following Brahma Madhva, Gaudi Sampradaya, we are already following. So we should take the advantage, and we are in a wonderful Sampradaya, directly connected to the personality of Godhead. Most of the public in real, they are not having any connection. They are not understood. Even if they are connected, they are not understood that they are connected. So they are wasting their time in this material world by not understanding that ultimate everything is happening because of Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is not even a single blade of grass can move without his permission. So Mahaprabhu has given us the wonderful statement of Seto Darpana Marjanam. All our forgetful this thing, because of this contamination by the dust accumulated again and again above our heart, we could not understand our Swarupa. Seto Darpana Marjanam, Tava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam, Seyaktairava Chandrika Vidanam, Vidya Vadu Jivanam, Manandambudi Vardhanam, Pradipadam Purnamada Savanam, Sarvatma Sapanam Param Vijayate, Sri Krishna Sangeetanam. It is the only thing, Krishna Sangeetana, only thing which can cleanse us our heart, which gives the Swarupa. By understanding the Swarupa, we will understand our ultimate connection to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and by which we can understand everything is emanating from the Lord, and each and every activity of us, whether it is a happiness, sorrow, anything, It is done by the mercy of the Lord, that we should understand. And even by chanting, Prabhupada has given us so much wonderful literature, Bhakti Vedanta purport. If it is not there, how we can understand Srimad Bhagavatam? Bhagavatam is the ultimate thing. By reading Bhagavatam, I heard that everything can be achieved by reading only Bhagavatam, by hearing only Bhagavatam. We don't need any other thing. 24 hours you can read Bhagavatam, things will happen for you. This is what the understanding should be. So Nityam Bhava Sevaya, that is the way it was given. Nityam Bhava Sevaya. So we are very fortunate to have our association, and I am very fortunate to have all of you, whether I am speaking or you are hearing, but ultimately we are talking about Srimad Bhagavatam, and ultimate Bhagavatam's conclusion is chanting the glories of the Lord and worshipping Him by and with a state of mind which is not expecting any respect from others, or but at the same time give all the respect to others, and feel that yourself as a humbler than a blade of grass and taller than a tree. Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorahi Sagishnuna, Amanina Manajena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. That's what we'll have to do. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Tassat. I will end my little this thing here, and any of you want to comment further on this? It's a little, creation is a very, very little difficult subject, but understanding that subject matter, it is going to give us a lot of confidence and connection to the Supreme Personality Godhead. Each and every activity we should understand it depends on the Lord. That way, it's a little the creation in the entire Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam consists of so many different subject matter. Sarga, Visarga, creation, secondary creation. So many things are there. But this particular topic which we are talking about today, it's the most important, but very, very difficult to understand this particular topic. And I hear from senior devotees also, when I was involved in some of the Bhakti Vaibhav Bhakti classes. I'm hearing all this. Anyway, this is what it is. So we'll have to chant and be happy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Tassat. I will end here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot, Prabhuji. Like very nicely explaining about the verse, like which talks about the dissolution and recreation, and you have nicely explained it at the end. Also, like you have nicely summarized, and it is very, I mean, easy to remember, but easy to digest because it's a very difficult subject matter.
Yes.
So, and as you said, like if you understand, then we can understand the like our relation to the like how we are directly connected to the Lord. And at the end, you made one statement like which is like struck for me. It's like everything is by the Lord, for the Lord, and to the Lord.
Yes.
I mean, it is a very nice statement, Prabhuji. And any other devotees wants to comment or ask any questions or clarifications required? Lines are already unmuted.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Prabhu.
Oh, very nice narration of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you for getting so much of data point from everywhere to re-establish that everything is from God and everything goes back to Him. So you actually very nicely brought that point out to say everything comes from Narayana, everything goes back to Narayana. It's very important, and those two examples which is actually coming in the particular, I mean in the translation of like the sun or how it is going in the earth. That is really amazing. Everything goes back to the same thing. But the person behind everything is Lord Narayana. Wonderful. Thank you.
Correct. Very, I myself was bewildered by hearing that inside the shell of the universe, Garbhodaya Vishnu, from the Virat Rupa, Brahma he says, I am taking the ingredients for creating from the Lord's limb. All the limbs of the Lord he used for making his sacrifice or creating. Senses, everything is from them.
I was also recollecting that, during the Bhakti Shastri, we were just
Yeah.
reading about all the ingredients for the sacrifice is also his, and we use everything to please him. So everything is his, and we're using
Correct,
only his
correct.
to please him
Correct.
only. So same thing. So very nice.
He is providing in the beginning, he is only providing with all the ingredients that we'll have to conduct yajnas only with that. With that only we'll get everything.
It's true. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So nice. If further there is no other question, we can do the pranamas and all you can
Prabhu, you want
take care of your things. Can we? Any other question?
Prabhu unmuted, Prabhu. So does he want to say something? Prabhu, yes.
Pranam, thank you so much for the wonderful nectarian class.
If there is no question, we can take care of our work.
Yes, Prabhu.
Kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhupyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo Ananda Kodi Vaishnava ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful session again, and thanks all the devotees for your active participation.